Welcome to Shortview Trading. This is your morning market hit for Tuesday, October 13th. What matters today for traders? Well, leadership swung back to the tech sector yesterday. We saw that with particular strength amongst the mega cap tech names. Apple, of course, was the best performing stock in the S&P 500, up over 6% on the single trading session. And of course, it wasn't just Apple, it was also Amazon, Facebook, Google amongst the top 10 or 15 best performing single stocks on the day in the S&P 500 yesterday. And of course, it wasn't just single stocks. Sector leadership was very much dominated by growth tech, with the IT sector leading the charge, followed closely by consumer discretionary, which of course is dominated by Amazon, and communication services, a sector which is dominated by Facebook and Twitter. So tech led the way, so little wonder that our FANGs index is now close to overbought on our short-term technical scoring system. Our FANGs index simply equal weights all the key mega cap FANG names: Facebook, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Netflix, etc. You know the score, and then looks at them using our short-term technical scoring system. As you can see from the chart, that's now close to overbought, just shy of that level, but getting to an overbought level. Equally, the Nasdaq 100, of course, a broader index of tech and one or two other sectors as well, but it holds a lot of those key FANG names. That is also close to overbought, as you can see from the chart in front of you now. While the Philly SOX, which is often a key leadership area of the Nasdaq, Philly SOX, the semiconductors index, often moves ahead of the Nasdaq 100, is clearly now overbought, as you can see from the chart in front of you now. And indeed, what's interesting there is the Philly SOX has broken out to new record highs over recent trading sessions, and as I say, often leads the way for the Nasdaq 100. So tech is clearly close to overbought levels. You can see that both at a single stock and of course at a sector level. But if you look at cyclicals, you'll be aware they've had a good run over recent few weeks from the lows in the market in the 23rd, 24th of September. A number of those indices have done very well. Those areas of the market have done well. And cyclicals themselves in aggregate are now also overbought, as you can see from the chart in front of you now. Here we're showing you an equal weighted cyclical index where we equally weight all the cyclical parts of the S&P 500, and you can see in aggregate that model is at high levels and at overbought readings. And interestingly, of course, you can divide the S&P 500 into three top level areas: the tech growth stocks that we've talked about, the cyclical area that I've just showed you, and then of course the defensive part of the market. This is the highest level sector breakdown one can do. Interestingly though, it's not just cyclicals and tech that's overbought, it's also the defensive area of the market. And you can see that in the chart in front of you now. So across the board, the S&P 500, across the three major sector breakdowns, is an overbought index. Defensive, cyclicals and tech almost are all overbought. And of course that leaves the question of where now? If this market's overextended, and with that we have a similar sort of message from many of our risk appetite and other types of models, which are all updated in today's daily rag. The question is, where does that leave us in terms of recommendations? Clearly and interestingly, earnings is getting going in earnest today. The US third quarter earnings season begins with the banks today. That's when it really properly kick starts. And of course, as we've mentioned before, earnings often have the potential to drive a grind higher. So there's various forces at work in this market in the near term on that 1 to 2 week short-term basis that we like to think about and focus on in terms of the daily rag product. So for full details of how all the models are looking and how we're playing this market, please see today's daily rag, available to subscribers via the website. So what are we watching today? Well, the key focus I think will be in the States and some of the macro data there. The NFIB Small Business Optimism Survey is key, as are the subcomponent parts of that when thinking about the medium-term macro trend. The small business sector, of course, is critical in this recovery. How it performs is important to watch. Over and above that, inflation's out in the States. Consumer price inflation, always key, particularly at the moment when the market's debating inflation or deflation. So that's it from us. That's your morning market hit for Tuesday, October the 13th. Thank you for listening. Please do subscribe on YouTube. Simply search under Shortview Trading, or follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn and or Facebook. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, trade well.